Welcome to Tell Me How Good It Got. Stories of women who defied the rules and ditched the script for what life's supposed to look and came out healthier, happier, hotter, and more themselves. I'm your host, Majo Torelli, Oxford grad and somatic coach. And today, I'm so thrilled to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Annie from the Serious Sofa. Annie is a creative at heart with over 35 years in branding, now bringing creativity, deep curiosity, movement, and a serious amount of doodling into life coaching. She guides people to connect beyond words, tuning into their whole body intelligence and exploring new perspectives. On the Serious Sofa, Annie guides clients' sense into meaningful shifts, creatively, playfully, and deeply. Welcome, Annie.
Hello. I'm really happy to be here. It's really nice.
I'm so happy to have you.
Yeah.
And I must say, I really miss your doodles.
Yeah. From the course we did together from the somatic. Well, I've already started, Law. I just did a little one. I did a little heart.
I love that. And it says Maho. That's so cute.
I put my whole, your name, and I did a little heart. So I
I love
actually
it.
was doing that while you were talking.
Oh, that makes me really, really warm and fuzzy. Thank you, my dear.
Yes. No. Yeah, no, I can't resist. So sorry. If I'm looking away, then I'm doodling. Yeah.
Oh, feel free to doodle. Literally, that was one of the highlights of being together at the somatic school. And I love having you here. I know that at 53, you stepped into a new chapter of your life and you found your flow, what you
Yeah.
love, what you're good at, and what lights you up.
Yeah.
I would love it for you to tell us a little bit about your journey, who you were before you found your flow.
Yeah. So as you just said, I'm creative at heart, which I've always loved. And as a little kid, I was, I don't know, always busy doing something. So whether that was drawing, sewing, I don't know, sewing drawings, whatever, building, everything. So I spent my whole life in branding and creativity as a designer, creative director, and strategist. And what I loved about that is I got nosy, in branding, you really look for the heart and soul of a brand. You spend all your time, if you're good at what you do, searching for an essence or a unique quality in the brand that you're working for. But what I really miss there is meaningfulness, actually, because I always, I was very pragmatic. I was packaging designing mainly. And I said, we put our heart and soul into something. And the irony of it is that it ends up in the bin. It's packaging, we put our heart and soul, and also, big brands, big money, there's a purpose. So for many years, Lily had an idea to be a coach, and I used to mentor. I used to teach when I was 25. I was a university lecturer in design. I used to mentor, of course, because I was a creative director, but I really missed the human quality of it all. But then I thought, the world doesn't need any more coaches because there's just so many. And now there's even more, of course. And so I put it off for very long. Then I got offered a kind of freelance work. This was the trigger. But I thought about it. I looked up so many courses. I did coactive before. Then when I met you, we were in somatic, but I was really busy looking and not doing. At 53, I had this opportunity to join a design company. And I said, I wanted part-time. I'm trying to balance family life against work life. They were really open, really positive, la, 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 la. Got some freelance work. They did a contract and then the contract never came. And it never came. And then they said they changed their mind because they needed somebody full-time. And then I thought, you know what? This is my time to move. This is my time. I got disappointed again in a world that I was always being disappointed with. When I say disappointed with, I was disappointed with the humanity in the world I was in. There was so many egos, people in competition. You work your heart and soul, and then you're ditched out of the project without a second thought. And it always hit me in a bad way. And so I thought, this is a time. They haven't honored what they said they were. So now I have to move and train as a coach. That's what led me in order to become a coach and do my first training of coactive coaching. Um, and it was brilliant, actually. And actually, it gave me as much. It just gave me as much for myself as what I'm trying to bring to others. You learn so dearly for yourself as well. I think my flow came from realizing much more about myself and what I needed, who I was, and what I stood for.
Yeah, they say you really end up teaching and coaching on what you need the most yourself, right?
Mm. That's it, Lammy. So, I remember an exercise in coactive where you had to stand up and say, I am. And that was really hard. I was doing this, I was holding my head. So I had a really, like this, I am inspiring. I was so embarrassed. So, it was so hard to admit what I know I am, but dare not say what I am. And that's the thing. Inside, I know I'm really creative, but saying it felt too egotistical. It felt like I was showing off. It felt like I didn't want to make other people feel small. There's so much going on, even with owning who you are. Um, Brings when you do own who you are, if you say it in a lovely way, it's just awesome. You're like, I am. It's like, okay, well, about time. So I always laugh that, about time. By the time I finished that course and I met you in somatics, which deepened my learning much, much more. I thought it's about time now. I'm 57 to stand up and go, yes, I am creative. I am inspiring. I am actually a kind person. It's like now I can say it and it makes me laugh, but it was tough actually to actually even say it. Yeah.
Yeah, you are. You are probably one of the most creative people I know. I
Oh,
mean, and that's I remember your doodles, and I keep mentioning this because it was so beautiful to see them unfold.
yeah. Yeah.
It's very interesting when you talk about this. I am. I so relate to that. It's just speaking up and standing in the world and saying I am this takes so much courage and so many layers. I feel have to like an onion. You have to peel them back. And I wonder, was there something you had to let die in order to actually be able to stand up and say, I am this. I am a creative.
Yeah, I think it's the value of yourself. And with the value of yourself is lack of confidence, actually always putting other people in the spotlight before yourself. And then reframing that spotlight to me, for me, it was to be more of an illuminating glow. It's not that you need to step into the spotlight. And also the reality that if you're not owning your space, what are you stopping? What are you letting go? What are you leaving out? I had that huge reality and that's still ongoing, I have a vision for this year. I did a mood board, a vision board for the very first time with a group, a new year. I've done it thousands of times in my whole creative world for brands. I've never done it for myself. And I had an exercise, I am, and it really inspired a word, which is I am unfurling like a fern. And I had this whole discussion with myself, thinking when the fern is tight, what are you stopping yourself from seeing? What are you stopping others from seeing? What are you not bringing to the world that you really want to bring? And by not bringing it, what are you preventing? What are you leaving out for others? And I realized that if you unfurl and just bring it on. And another sentence was, I'm going to face the light now. I'm going to face the sun. I'm 57. I'm going to face the sun. I'm going to face the sun. I'm unfurling and facing the sun. And it feels like your shoulders go back. I feel prouder, but I'm not with ego. I'm just with joy. That's the point. It's joyful for me, and it makes me laugh when I think, "Oh my God, you've been furling yourself up to keep others looking great. You can still you can help others be great by unfurling too, because you can share your experience. You can share your inspirations. You can share your joy. You can share a lovely chat.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what it is. It's unfurling to connect, I think. So the thing what I had to realize, love, is letting go to open up. It's like, if I don't unfurl, I don't connect. I pull away. So I'm letting go, being pulling away. I'm letting go, feeling disconnected. I'm letting go sort of more of a darkness and more of welcoming in more light. Because I realized very often I pull away. And that's been a big research for me. To be honest, somatics coaching, our course, you can't forget anything you learned. It's impossible. It's impossible to once you start opening the onion you mentioned, well, I'm sorry, but it's open, isn't it? And I find it very exciting for myself to keep exploring. And I had this sense that recently I've also been pulling back, wanting to make my business reach out to more, but overwhelm makes me pull back. So actually, I thought if I unfurl, have conversations, reached out to people for a chat, inspire, then then that brings more joy. And with more joy is more motivation. With more motivation, there's more possibility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a spiral upward. It
Yeah,
goes upward all the time,
yeah,
right? And keeps
yeah.
unfurling
Unfurling.
upward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also
Ah,
in an exactly all over in an expansive way.
yeah.
And what feels alive in my body as I hear you speak, I remember this conversation I was just having with some friends this week about how I feel like a different person when I'm trying to do things from a furled
Yes. So
position, you know? Yes, when I'm like in this little
this, yeah, your shoulders went down then, didn't
exactly.
it? And tight, and we
Yeah.
go,
And literally the same task. I mean, I after I spend like maybe 2 hours, I give it a little break and I go do something that actually helps me unfurl, even if it's just breathing, being in nature, whatever it is, I become a different person, an entirely different Majo. And what I do, the quality of the essence of what I bring into it is so, it's like if it was done by another person. And that really blew my mind how different you become just when you're in this unfurled state.
that's it, Laurie, that's it. And you know what I love about that is we can all do it. We all have the capacity to unfurl at the moment if we start to give awareness to our body just a little. So what I love is that we have at least some possibilities already within us. You know, even if that's the shoulders going back a little bit, saying the word unfurl is already, I don't know, has a magical quality because it's like unfurl. It's like, okay, because you notice like you were doing this, the
Yeah,
tightness when you go forward.
exactly.
And then, so what I love, so what I've been very busy with is really the small, small things everybody could notice and how that can empower just small little changes, even if you're going to a presentation, a meeting, a conversation that's hard, even if you're feeling a bit sad and you unfurl, somehow the sadness doesn't have to go away, but you see it with more light. And so this word is awesome for me. I love it actually, how powerful it is actually, this, I don't know, it's this finding.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like you said, the difficult part of it doesn't, the difficult self that's online, the one who's maybe wounded, sad, or whatever it is, it doesn't, you don't have to hide it under the rock. It's about bringing more the unfurl side of you, right? Online, the powerful side.
Yeah, and you hit on something else, which was my discovery, is that I'm going through a bit of a hard time. My mom's not doing well, and it's quite challenging right now. But I realized that actually my unfurled self doesn't always have to be.
Exactly.
I can bring my unfurled self as she is, and that is also good to hang out with. So this is the thing that I really like that's come to me is that I can turn up with sadness, unfurled, and people still enjoy my conversation. And I'm like, you know what? It's like that's always been there. And now you realize actually there's 100%. Sometimes you might turn up with just 30% energy, but it's not about your energy. It's about the presence of you being in that space. And that's enough, actually. So that's my big learning as well.
I
I
love that. I love how you say she's still nice and cool to be around and to be her. You know, whatever it is that's happening, no matter how hard it is, it's still, you can still be
I can see B.
that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That powerful creative act.
Yeah, that's it, Louis. And what that brings is when you are unfurled and you are in sadness, so it sounds a contradiction. So if we're unfurled in sadness towards the light, we are also calmer with our sadness.
Yeah.
And that then brings so much more, as you know, Lovey, when calmness is there with sadness. There's more clarity, there's more managing, there's more knowing what you need right now. If we
Yeah.
bring tension into sadness, we're reactive and we are not able to have a notion of how to go forward. So
Exactly.
yeah, I just think it's the best word ever right now. I love it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Annie. It really landed deeply. And I'm wondering if you had top tips or your favorite ways of, I know what you mentioned of literally letting your shoulders down. This is something I tell myself and I tell women, like, just try, when you receive a compliment, I feel most of us tend to like brush it off. And something as small as, yeah, I'm going to receive it and let my shoulders drop When
Yeah.
someone tells you how beautiful, how smart, how intelligent, whatever you are, and you do this and just say thank you, it makes such a difference. And it's such a little thing
Yeah.
because it lands on your body. I'm
Yeah.
wondering, what are your favorite ways of inhabiting and staying in that unfurled state?
Yeah, so there is that one you've just mentioned, I think is awesome because it also, if we look at it from biology, and that's what I loved about our somatic training, it's pure biology actually. There is magic, deep magic in it, I think, but that it's based on biology. So the action of unfurling also opens our lung capacity, if I'm being very technical, which I'm not normally, but it allows space. And then you're allowed, putting your hand on that space to connect with that breath. So that's one very practical thing it does, shoulders gently back. Another thing that I do as well, I doodle, as you know. So journaling is also for me to sit with myself every day and say hello. Ask my question, how are you today? Or what's there? And none of that is to find a solution, but it's all to create an awareness. And that's a totally different thing. And so just sitting, noticing maybe, is there a bit of tension, tiredness, sadness, happiness, whatever. And then, actually allowing it to be there and just say, what do I need right now? That is such a lovely one as well. And it can be with but you can build it into your habit. So, we've got cup of tea or drink. If you're having a habit of having a morning cuppa or a midday cuppa, you can also attach this moment to it. And it's like, hey, hello, Macho, hello, Anne. How are you today? And I love that because you go, actually, I'm a bit itchy or I'm a bit scratchy. And you might notice where might that be, and you just put your hand there, and even just putting your hand on that like you would a little kid and just giving it a little rub. That's also unfurling for me. Just to allow that process to be there and allow it to settle. That's also a super nice.
Yeah.
And you can doodle all right or just notice. It's I think what my sense is we go through the world looking for things outside of us to help us unfurl. Actually, we can go inside ourselves to help us unfurl. And that's the point. It's coming from inside of yourself. And that's what you were saying earlier when I'm coming from a space of inside, that it's like I'm more connected to myself. And unfurling can be also, like you say, moving your shoulders back, but also doing a little silly dance. I students at college, and I did it with my daughter. My daughter has a lot of exams, and she's got some now, but this was in just before Christmas. And I saw like the furling, if we want to say it, that moment. And I just put music on, and we did a shake. Just we all need a shake from time to time. That's my
Yeah.
yeah. And just doing that makes you laugh, and laughing unfurls you. So I think what I love, Louis, is something light, even a good chat, like with you, that unfurls. You can say, I need to unfurl, who can I chat to? And you don't have to chat about
Yeah.
anything other than just silly or cup of tea or whatever. So I think connection unfurls, actually.
Yeah. We are unfurling right
Yeah,
now as we speak.
yeah, that's the point. That's the point.
Exactly.
And so I try in my coaching to use all of these techniques and and like when clients come and I can see, they're sitting forward. We did this in somatics, like, how might it be to do less? What can you do less of right now? What can this chair give you? What support can it offer you? And what might it say to you? Have a conversation with a chair. If I lean back, can you just hold me for a moment? And so we can have a conversation. It helps us get out of our head, and that
And
unfurls us.
that's the point. Yeah.
That's the point, Louise. So feel the back of the chair. Just think, oh gosh, it's quite nice. And how relaxed can you be in your chair? I'm thinking now. And then put your head back maybe. And then the unfurling in your head is also happening.
I have forgotten to talk to objects. will I
Okay.
will reintroduce that into my somatic toolkit.
No, it's
That's
cool. I
such
love
a
it.
good one.
No, it's foolery, and it's like,
Yeah.
and you can talk to your, you can talk to furl and say, "Why are you holding me so
Yeah.
tightly?
Yeah.
The sun is shining. Why are you holding me so tightly? Let's take the dog for a walk, or let's get a coffee. Let's just go and listen to those little birds in the sun. And I really believe, we all look to go to the gym and spend hours maybe doing yoga or all of these things, all brilliant, whatever, all good, running. But if we did these little things and talk to a chair every day or talk
Mhm. Yes.
Or just allow yourself to sit back or just feel the warmth of your cup in your hand and go, "Ah, thank you, coffee." And, it's so I don't know, it makes me laugh, Marie, but that's my
It's true.
journey.
It's like you were saying, it's the magic of neurobiology.
Yeah, it's it's amazing. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
furling process is and we know that, don't we? When we furl, we trap our breath, we trap our heart, we trap our muscles, and our head gets trapped. When we unfurl, a bath unfurls us, doesn't it? A shower unfurls us. Imagine when you're under that shower, you are literally unfurling and you reach, And another lovely one I heard, I've got one more. I was doing I've been doing sometime when I travel to The Hague to do my university work, I often listen to mindful things. That's my unfurling moment, you see. I don't care what I look like. I've got my eyes closed. I'm probably holding my heart. Everyone's so busy anyway, they don't notice, do they? They're all on their phones, so it's good. And there is also this one, so it's not always about putting your head back. It's also about putting your head down a little bit and honoring there. And that is actually, I realize it's not always this, I love to face the light now, but it's also thank you there. That's quite nice. And putting your hand there. That really helped. That was a nice one I learned recently. That's a new one.
I feel so unfurled right now
Yeah.
as you speak and as we connect, and that's so gorgeous. Thank you so much, Annie.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And yeah, I think actually recently I even discovered because I know my flight or fight response is actually freeze. And I used to be a terrible freezer. And now I've discovered that one way to start unfurling when you're in a really frozen state is actually just start internally with sensation. So let's say you're, sitting in your sofa and of course going out and actually taking a little walk in nature does the trick, right? Research says it's even as if you were doing
In
EMDR
there.
therapy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And my point is sometimes when you're so frozen, that seems like an impossibility. And I recently discovered that actually just closing your eyes and picturing yourself in nature, riding a bike in the park, whatever it is,
Yeah.
that already brings the unfurling.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because there's a huge amount of research done with visualization and allow
Yeah.
your imagination to be there, or even looking at a photograph. If that's hard for you, some people find that hard. Finding an image, apparently it's very powerful as well.
Yeah,
Find an
absolutely.
image
An
of a
image,
tree
a
or
sensation.
yeah. Yeah, and like you say, Lovey, and I love that what you've just shared is it's small. It's all small, and I think the power of all of what we're talking about and unfurling and the fact it's so scientific and supported with neuroscience and everything is the fact it's all tiny. We've
Mhm.
got busy lives, and you don't wanna be I think loading loads of exercises on people makes you furl, actually. So in order to keep unfurled, it's got to be very small. And the fact that you can do, like you say, noticing how your socks feel, or thinking, what is a lovely sensation on my skin and putting on, sometimes I just put on the soft fleece or a really soft cardi. And that also is unfurling. Like your lovely jump stroking that is like stroking a cat or something, and so we can do it in so many ways, and I think we, try and invent things when we have so much to hand, and that's my point, is like, we've got everything, and it sounds silly to talk to a glass or something or a cup, but actually, I don't know,
It's where the magic lives.
it's really yellowy. We have in hand, and it's like, "Oh, this warm drink is like, thank you, it's so cozy, I love it," and you're like, "Ah," yeah, so
I love hearing how you have this vast toolkit that filled with little things that you practice in your daily life and that your clients are so lucky to have you bring into their lives.
yeah.
I wonder, I know your big life transition was at 53. Was there a point where you would say it got really good? Like now things got good?
Yeah, well, you know what? Straight after my first coaching traject, which was about the same, it was 9 months or so, when you get your certificate, well, we got certificate, it was live, my first one. So you get handed the certificate, and I was a bit excited. And I came home, and this was for me really nice. I said to my husband, if I could bring 10% of what I've learnt at 53 to young adults, oh my gosh, I would be so happy. And I made it happen. I'm working with students from 17 to 25. and I'm their personal coach, and I do all of this silly stuff. I dance with them also. I don't care. But in our sessions, I get them to come in and it's an entrepreneurial college, so they're very bright kids. But with that comes perfectionism. So many other people enter the room at the same time. You know, they bring their perfectionists with them and their other resilience and their other driven saboteurs and like a whole bunch, I can see them all sitting there going, wow, what might you say to them? But what's lovely is they said to me, because I did some research with them recently, they said that what they love is I give them just a space to settle and a space to be with them, actually, without agenda, without deadline, and allow themselves almost to sink into themselves. And I love the fact that they are so insightful and so open that they are making. I see the changes. We doodle. They love their doodle diary and they bring it back and we look back. And it's been so brilliant, actually. So I have to say that it's a small part of a big dream, but it's starting. And my ambition now is to try and reach out to I still love working with older people as well. I love that. I love working with people, but I also want to focus on young people. And I was proud of myself because I was a non-networker, that I networked. I met this young person who was in that college. She sat by me in this big networking event. There was one seat left. And I had the lovely opportunity to sit by this amazing, Lena, her name is. And I had the lovely opportunity to sit by her. She was 17. And we just chatted. And in this networking event of 250 people, they offered the stage for anyone who dare go up and ask for something. And the only person in the room was her. And the rest were women from 30 to plus. And the only person who had the guts or the courage to get up there was a 17-year-old. And I just thought, whoa, that's awesome. And then she helped me with my Instagram for a while. And then I became a guest lecturer at the university. And now I am working there as a freelancer, but on contract. And now I work with them and I teach personal growth as well.
Wow. I didn't know the details of that part of your story, Annie. That's incredible.
Yeah, so I did start to say, "Oh, I'm lucky," and then I corrected myself. I said, "No, I'm not lucky. I made that happen."
Yeah,
And that is another,
exactly.
that's the thing about
Yeah, like standing up and saying, I am a creative, standing up and saying, I make things happen.
yeah, I made things happen. So,
Yeah.
and that's a very different mindset, isn't it? When you say, "I make this happen," that's different
Oh,
from going, "Oh, I'm lucky." That's this. "I make things happen" is unfurled. I'm lucky is okay, not quite, not opening, but kind. And this is, I made it happen. And it's not with ego you say that. It's like, I made it happen. It's with joy,
yeah.
curiosity, excitement. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, quiet sovereignty, power.
Yeah.
And I love that because I feel especially as women, sometimes we tend to have this, they're well intended, but there are messages that don't help us, right? Things like, oh, everything happens for a reason. And we attribute things to luck or to like outside circumstances. And we don't realize that so much of life, maybe like an 80%, is from within
Yeah. From within,
and
love it.
your responses and your reactions to life.
That's it. And who you are and what you bring
Yeah.
and how you are in a space of people and what they appreciate about you. Actually, we are, it'd be so cool if we could actually turn around and watch ourselves and what we bring to a room.
I love that.
And I just had this vision then of sparkles coming off us or just energy actually. And the funny thing is at college we have to record. So I see myself on camera and, I realize finally what I bring to a room. And it's so, so when I'm in the class, I'm very experiential, really hands on. I can't help it because I bring my toolbox and I'm teaching branding as well, actually. So I bring all my creativity. But, I get people to move and dance and I see how uncomfortable it is. But if I dare do it, you know, they join in.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and I got
contagious.
Post-it notes, and I got them to draw what they were feeling twice in this process, and they did little doodles, and we made a doodle wall, and they had emotions, and they presented the emotions, and then what was lovely is everybody understood more deeply who they were, if not just that day, generally. So they put their selves out there, so it was super nice. Yeah.
I want my own doodle journal or diary, and you're inspiring me to get one. I'm wondering, Annie, if someone is listening to you right now, another woman who feels connected to your story and finding your creativity and your flow and feels like she has it in her, she has something to share with the world, but she's in that in between. in that furled, how furled state? What would you want her to know?
I would want her to know that, first of all, it sounds maybe cliche, but it's all there. It's all there, actually. And the best place to start giving more time to is yourself. And of course, we have busy lives. You might have kids, busy jobs. So I'm talking pockets of time. If you imagine a little pocket rather than a big sack. So just small pockets. And even saying hello to yourself in the morning or just noticing that if you just start to create this tiny awareness, like you say, your feet on the floor, you start to notice your senses, you mentioned, which helps
Mhm.
with freeze. So I would say it's in you rather than outside of you. I think you can go to yoga, you can go to gym and all of that. It's all beautiful. But actually, I've spoken to so many people that haven't found it inside of them still. And it
Yeah.
sounds a big thing to really know what's inside of you. And all I'm saying is just noticing. It's noticing. I mean, and if you have a week and you notice that 6 days out of 7 you're so tired, and what might you like to do about that? But if we
Yeah.
carry on looking outside, we just push our tiredness away and we carry on and we still don't acknowledge tiredness is there. And then what we do is we tend to be more judgmental on ourselves, that we don't manage things very well, or we need to try harder, or we need to work later, or we need to be nicer. But if we acknowledge that there's tiredness there, then we're less harsh on ourselves and we're more open to being curious about tiredness and going, what might I do? And it might be you go to the doctors. It might be you actually get help. It might be you take a relaxed weekend. It's really without allowing what's there to be there and just go, hey, what's there? It's not that you have to solve it, but it's just naming it. And with that, you can be very creative in doodling. I doodle. I love that. And I realize everyone goes, I can't doodle. A lot of people say it can be a smiley, quite frankly. It can be a little like, the ones on the phone. It can be smiley. How many days of the week do you have smiles? Or is there normally a sad face in your little like emoji? If you gave yourself an exercise and go, okay, this week I'm going to get up. Maybe after my morning drink, I'm going to say, how am I today? And I'm just going to do an emoji and I can put them on the wall. And on Sunday, I'm going to look. And if I notice that there's a lot of downward facing smiles and sadness, then I'm going to have a little think. It's a
Yeah.
super practical exercises to collect your doodles or just the word happy, mid, sad. You could, if you really can't even draw a circle with dots and a half circle, which everyone can. Everyone can do that. Everyone.
Not an excuse not to doodle.
No, no, and it's nice, and you know what? There is so much scientific thing using a pen and paper. It's a processing because it gets you out of your looping because you're starting to scribble, draw.
Yeah.
You let your mind become freer. So you could explore it also if you really wish to. A lot of people journal. Sometimes journaling becomes too big, so that's why I love these mini exercises of like just word of the day, word
And
of
journaling is very mental.
yeah,
Right?
that's it.
Very analytical, mental
Yeah, yeah,
process, whereas doodling, writing, just drawing,
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
way
and
more body
they say
based.
you should do they say you should journal when you get up because your mind is a bit like, not woken. So there is this state of kind of mid state of being really yeah. But I love what you said. It's like, doodling or a word of the day. I don't know. Mine's unfurl, of course, but, a word of the day, they change, every day. And there can be sadness. My gosh, and of course, there can be. There can be overwhelm. But if you
Absolutely, like you were saying, and I love this. Bring everyone into the room.
yeah,
The analytical you,
bring it
the
on.
judgmental you. Let's have a little party, and
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah, yeah,
invited.
yeah. The point is bringing them in and welcoming them, isn't it? That
Yeah,
you're not because
exactly.
we often go, "I haven't got time for this overwhelm. I'm getting really annoyed."
Yeah,
Or like,
yeah, yeah.
"Okay, you're here. Thank you and welcome, and I understand." That's totally,
And
totally
I
different.
love you. I love you just like I
Yeah,
love my joyful part, my powerful part, my sovereign, because it's all a
yeah.
part of who I am.
And it's your greatest teacher at that moment.
And my greatest teacher, exactly, and exactly how I need to be expressed in the world in this moment.
That's it,
And
lovely.
that's
Yeah, and what can I learn from you? Because 'Cause you're my teacher right now, and you're telling me something that I really need to listen to. So that's the thing. I think our hardest things are often our greatest teachers, and I really believe that. I have a teenage daughter, and she's sometimes my greatest teacher of curiosity and patience.
Oh, I bet.
Because it's so easy to and actually go, okay, if she could not behave like this, would she choose to be like, if she had a choice, would she behave like this at this moment? What else is under the pile?
Yeah.
I always tell my students to look under the table because I think there's so much magic under a table by layers. So we often work just on the surface of the table, and if we have a peep under, what else might be there? That's my little
That's really great advice. Take a peek under the table.
yeah, or
And
under your
I'm wondering, my dear, I mean, you've been through such a transformative journey and you're helping others do the same. And clearly you have so much fire and light around it. And I love that so much. It's so contagious. Wondering from the Annie you were before this journey to the Annie you're right now, right here with us, what's something in you that feels healthier, happier, hotter, or more yourself?
I feel I feel, happier actually. I feel like I am an inspiration bron. I feel I was always inspired and inspiring, but I get excited. I have like tingles in my hands all the time when I'm doing yeah, really. It wants to come out. It's so funny. It's like I want to release it. I have these very tingly fingers with excitement and joy. And when I'm teaching, I say that I know now, I will say I inspire them, but they really inspire me. And I said to my friends, it's like a vitamin pill. Feels like I'm taking vitamin C or something when I go in there. And what's beautiful, and this is an age thing because I'm older, I feel seen. I feel seen because I'm unfurled and I truly feel seen. So the biggest thing I'm feeling now, which I didn't feel, is even though I'm older, I feel more seen now than I did 10 years ago.
That makes me tingly. And wow, that really lands in me. And because I have felt in always with you when we
Yeah.
were in class, right now in this conversation, you have that capacity to make people feel deeply seen. And
Yeah.
it's so wonderful that, it's a two-way mirror.
Yeah, it is. Because I get really excited chatting to you.
That
That's great.
tingly finger.
Yeah, so it's lovely, super lovely, and the fact you invited me on here, that made me really excited because again, it's a reflection, isn't it, of what you don't appreciate about your
It is, absolutely.
yes.
And if this wonderful, tingly, unfurled chapter of your life had a
Yeah.
title, what would it be?
Oh, well, I can't let go of unfurling. It is really my unfurling. I mean, it probably sounds because I've been talking about it all for the last hour, but it's also facing the light, facing the light. So on my mood board, I have a little girl who's half in the shadow, half in the sun. And it's like, look at the light, let it shine on you, you know? So it's this illuminating glow of inspiration.
I would love to see that actually, your
Yeah.
doodle and
Yeah.
that image.
Yeah, it's upstairs, but it's like face the light. I love that. It's like it is that. I'm facing the light, lovey, and because to unfurl you need the light, and you need to find your own light. It's not that you need physical light. It's to find the light
Yeah,
itself. So it's the light inside. You're letting the light inside outside, releasing the light.
facing the light,
Yeah,
releasing the light. That would be it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Releasing the
It's coming
light.
from inside out.
That is so beautiful, Annie. And with that, I would love to invite you to toast with me to your unfurling with your cranberry juice,
Yeah.
to your tingly fingers, your doodling, your creativity, and every decision you've made that
Yes.
took you to this point where you're able to stand up in the world and say, I am a creative and I inspire others. Cheers to you and to
Thank
how
you.
good it got.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's so much my pleasure.
There. Tick. It was really lovely, and you've made me actually a chat is so powerful because sharing who you are and what inspires you with other people and having that conversation is already it unfurls you. So
It does.
you asked earlier, what could you do? Have a chat, really. Human connection with the right people can truly unfurl you.
It absolutely does. And it even unfurls others. Whoever listens to this will feel unfurled
I
as well
hope
because of
so.
your energy. I mean, they can't not.
No.
So thank you so much. That has been so wonderful, my
Oh,
dear.
I loved it. Well, you're beautiful company always, and you're always a beautiful glow. So, I'm
My
basking
dear.
in your glow, actually.
We are basking in one another's glow.
Yeah. That's it, lovely. And so it was such a treat and, a lovely surprise. Thank you.
And I also want to say, of course, cheers to the serious sofa.
Yeah, the serious sofa is the place. What I like about that is really, when things are hard, it's hard to talk about. And the first step is to settling and let the dust settle. And the serious sofa is the cozy place to talk about stuff that matters, stuff that's really serious for you.
We all need it.
We all need that, yeah. It's to let your shoulders down, kick off your shoes, and feel a sense of before you can share what you have. And that's when shifts happen. If you're able to make that shift of on the sofa, then that's when you can open up and talk about what's really important to you.
Deserves another toast to
Yeah.
unfurling
To unfurling and sharing what truly
and
matters.
sharing what truly matters.
Yeah.
Cheers, my
Oh,
dear.
yeah. Thank you, lovey. And I wish you an unfurling day.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for listening to Tell Me How Good It Got. Stay close for the next story because, yes, it really does get good.